Welcome to another episode of the TwistedTubz Podcast. I am your host, TwistedTubz, aka Stephen Tubney. I said it backwards for a flipside review. He is Brian Regan, aka Brian's Action Figure Reviews. Today's show, what are we going into, Brian? We're looking over Big Trouble in Little China. So, Brian, the reason we're doing this is because Brian had told me recently he had never seen the movie. And it was 2021 when he told me that. I was like, how? Actually getting straight into it. Explain to me, how has this film passed you by for so long?
It's a tricky one, really.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the first one to give people shit for not seeing popular movies. Especially my missus, I gave her shit for not watching The Lion King and stuff like that. But yeah, I've always kind of missed this one. I don't know how. Like, there was a time in my life a few years ago, there was someone who I knew was a massive fan of this, and I didn't like this particular person, so maybe subconsciously I was avoiding it or something. I don't know. Anyway, I watched it today.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, as I said, the reason we decided to do this show about it was because I grew up on the movie. Like, I'd seen it when it, like, obviously I hadn't seen it when it came out in the 80s, but I got it in the 90s, like, you know, when I was a little older, and I just fucking love it. I love the fucking corniness of it. I love the fucking over the top crazy hype about it. It's just a fucking old school 80s fun movie. And gotta admit, I was floored when I had realized I was kind of going, my God, this is like a John Carpenter classic. How have you not seen it? You know? But yeah, I'm interested to, like, just get even like a quick, like, feeling from you what you actually got it.
You know how we do retro wrestle chat?
Yes.
And we have classic matches that we think are classic. And
Yes.
then we watch them in the modern cold light of day, and they're not classic.
And what was it? And what was it about it that didn't kind of do it for you?
Before I get into that, I think if I had watched this as a child or as a teenager when I was younger, I would appreciate it more now. Whereas watching it as a 36-year-old, God, I'm so old. Watching it as a 36-year-old now, I probably don't get it as much, maybe. I don't know. Like, I should get it because there's so many links back to Mortal Kombat and stuff. Even Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, said Raiden was based on the guy that was in this, and Shang Tsung was based.
This came out 6 years before Mortal Kombat actually came out. So I wanted to actually ask you that, because that's when I was saying about, because I know how much of a big Mortal Kombat fan you were. So I was was wondering, would you kind of see like similarities in certain characters?
Definitely, yeah.
Because Dao Pan was basically Shang Tsung, like in a weird way. And the three guys, Thunder, Rain, and
Lightning.
What were their fucking names? I have them right here. Thunder, Rain, and Lightning. That was their names.
Yeah, Lightning.
So I mean, and they were like variations of Raiden and Kung Lao and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, when you see even the weaponry that they were using and stuff, which was so crazy that, I mean, me realistically, I grew up watching this, as I said. But when Mortal Kombat came out, I never put two and two together at that point. I was going to go like, and I mean, maybe it was an influence. He was like, oh, I like this style and all this kind of like character.
Oh yeah, I watched an interview with Ed Boon, who's the creator of Mortal Kombat, and he said, like, Johnny Cage was based on Van Damme in Bloodsport, and Raiden was based on the three guys in this, and of course,
especially Lightning, like the way Lightning
look alike as well.
But yeah, it was crazy because like, and that's why I wanted you to watch it, because I mean, and it's mad because, and I honestly thought you would love this movie because it's very 80s. Like, it's a trope of the 80s the way it was done, and it's like even the over the top fights, like they were jumping through the sky and all this. I was gonna just so 80s, like, you know, but because it's very comic booky in its own right as well.
I thought it was like you know how Hot Shots is what Commando would be, or what any army movie would be.
Yeah.
This is Hot Shots for karate movies, basically. It's ridiculous. It's dumb as shit. But
in the best way.
I don't know. I just couldn't.
Well, look, as you said, maybe that comes down to it being one of those things. Maybe it is down to the fact that maybe it is because you're in your 30s now and you've never seen it. Maybe you would have had maybe a different connection to it if you had seen it, like, you know, like late 80s, early 90s type thing. But what did you make of Jack Burton's character?
He was just a fucking what did they call him? A jock, basically, an asshole that was like somehow the hero by default.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, very much so. Like, do you know what I mean? He was never on board for the plan. If you get me, he just ended up
like all he wanted was his money back, and he just gets dragged into it or whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, like the film starts off and fucking. And look, to be fair, I mean, I love the things. Looking back at this as well as like the John Carpenter score on this, I thought was very good. They're very fucking. Now, look, as I said, it is a product of its time. It's very 80s. It's not as iconic as the Halloween, you know, theme song.
But like
that, you know.
I'm not saying it was shit or anything. No, like I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
But not. I don't know. Maybe I had it hyped up too much for me or something. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe I hyped it up too much for you.
No, because I usually make up my own mind. I don't usually listen.
Yeah,
to
you do. No, I can't fault you on that one. Like, and I mean, and Kim Cattrall was in this.
Yeah, looking a lot younger, a lot better.
Yes, I mean, look,
days back then.
I mean, obviously, like a lot of people probably, like, obviously she's been around a long time now, but I mean, a lot of people, like, you know, this generation remember her from Sex and the City. She was the Samantha character in that. But yeah, she was very attractive, man. Very attractive girl. Now, I have to admit that now. I was even looking back at it even like this week, or even like I rewatched bits of it a while ago, kind of caught up at the end of it. I was going, Jesus, she was a looker in her day, like, you know?
Like, there was some bits in it that were just so fucking random. When they're the like little ball creature that your man can see through. It was like, what the fuck?
It was the eye of Dowpan.
Comes out of nowhere, like
he could see. He could show Dowpan outside of the thing. Like, he was technically, the mad thing about it is he was technically a ghost, a cursed ghost that needed the blood.
Needed flesh.
He needed the blood, or was it fucking needed to marry
the blood of a green-eyed dragon or something like that, isn't it?
Was it? Oh God, my brain's gone fried. It's to honor the demon that trapped him or some shit like that. I can't remember fully, but yeah, that was the whole concept.
This is from the guy that loves it.
Oh yeah, but this is also from the guy that has been up all day with his kids and his brain's fucking fried to a marshmallow right now. But we digress and move on. But yeah, so no, but the characteristics of it, like, I loved Kurt Russell in this movie. I just loved him.
I like him in everything he's in anyway. So
yeah, but he's this for me is like another, like, you know what I mean, like another like Snake from fucking Escape from LA, or is Escape from New York.
But there's two,
there's two. I always get them fucking mixed up. Like, hey, let me know which one is which, because I think it's New York. It's Escape from New York, isn't it?
He's in both of them though. One's the sequel to the other.
But you know the character I'm referring to, like, it's like, you know, for a lot of people, like, he would be an iconic character to them. Like, Jack Burton was my jam growing up. Like, I loved Jack Burton's character in this movie. I just thought, as you said, he's that asshole that's not down for the ride in any way, shape, or form. He would much rather, as you said, just get his money, get in his truck, and fuck home. But it's like when he goes to the airport with one, and he's like, oh, all right, okay, fine, we'll do this. And then he spots the blonde one, Kim Cattrall, and he's like, and he kind of gets caught up in the mess. And then even as he's like going to the warehouse, and he's going to like the Dowpan's place, like, you know, and he's going to like the brothel with all the Chinese ladies, and he's trying to get the info there.
With the glasses, oh my God.
With the glasses and the accent, and he's still not 100% down for the ride. Like, he's still not 100% on board. Even when they're about to like come to the end of it, it's like he's still not down for it 100%, you know. But it's crazy that like, I love that you jumped in on the Mortal Kombat thing so early, because that was going to be like when we talked about the film, I was going to actually bring that up, because there are a lot of elements that are similar. Not similar, obviously, because Mortal Kombat's a fucking rated R.
You know what's very, very similar, actually, and it's more recent, is Kung Pao Legend of the Fist. If you've seen that, if you've not
Yes,
seen that,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, like that is, and even that's a little more over the top, you know. And it's so,
that's the very same vein.
but
Like
but I mean,
even go on.
no.
No, even the fact that they drive the big massive truck down the little skinny alleyway, I was like, oh, I know exactly what kind of film this is going to be like from that moment on. And then of course, like all the different like gangs and shit start fighting and shooting each other.
But the things I loved about it were like joy from when they end up down in the temple where the marriage is happening near the end of it, and they're all, and the big huge fight breaks out, and and one didn't, like actually has skills, like, you know what I mean? He ends up,
Yeah, he murders everyone while your man is away looking for a weapon.
and I remember he has the knife, and then the big fucking samurai dude's coming over, but when he trips him, he falls on the knife and kills him. But the weight of the fucking armor, everyone's getting killed left, right, and center, and they're all fighting around it.
And he's
stuck under. So it's like, and even with the gun, he randomly like tries to shoot the safeties on, because he's as you said yourself, he's not the hero.
He's
He
just an
falls
idiot.
he ends up becoming the hero by the end of it, by default. But he's not the hero, because he's just a guy that drives a truck, talks on his he's CB. He's like,
He's Topper Harley, like I said a while ago. Whatever it is. He's Topper Harley from Hot Shots.
But do you remember even at the start of it, it was very much that thing where he's talking into the CB, or the CB, the
CB radio, yeah.
The CB radio, and he's on about, the speeches he's on about talking into the thing. And he's like, what was it at the start? He said something about he says one at the start, and he says one at the very end.
Remember.
I'll get it before we finish up, but it's because of what he says at the very beginning, and I will get it up. I'll get it up on the phone in a minute if I can get the dialogue text up or whatever. But it's the speech he says on the CB radio at the beginning is actually basically what plays into the ending with Dowpen. It's all in the reflexes. Remember? And that's how he ends up, kind of like he fucking catches the knife and swings it back.
That was so random as well, and it came so fast.
But that was
not expecting it.
Now, see, it's probably, as I said, it's probably because I grew up with the movie and I know all this stuff about it and stuff. Just so the whole it's in the reflexes thing, I knew that, like, when he catches it, that's he said it, so it has to. He did it that way. He caught it, and all in the reflexes. But yeah, I mean, like, that movie was set up originally for a sequel.
Yeah, with the creature in the back of the fucking.
With the creature in the back, he gets out of the caves at the end and ends up in the back of his truck. Like, it was set up for a sequel, very much so.
And it was a critical failure, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, I think so. It was one of those things, one of those movies that it didn't explode at the box office back in the day. So we got the sequel, but it became one of those movies over time where people, except for Brian,
it became a cult classic.
Except for Brian, everyone kind of picked it up as time went on. It was like, oh, look at this. It's kind of like it kind of had like the Mallrats effect. Like when Mallrats was released first, like it was a critical flop. But you look at it 25 years later, and it's one of Kevin Smith's highest. I like
that either.
I loved it. See, we do differ. This is why I think shows like this are good, because we do differ on certain things. I love Mallrats. I happen to think Mallrats is one of Kevin Smith's.
I'm just gonna become the guy that comes on here and shits on your favorite shit, aren't I?
No. Come here, fucking. I mean, would it be fun if we liked all the same shit? Like if we came on and said everything, blow me, Brian. Wow, it wouldn't be interesting. The fact that I gave you homework this week, I was like, hey, go watch this movie, and we'll talk about it on my show.
It's lockdown. I ain't got fuck all else to do.
But even still, saying my show still has a weird ring to it. I still haven't
gotten. We're how many weeks into this show now?
Yeah, we're a few weeks in now. Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but yeah, we're a few weeks in. But yeah, it's been I've enjoyed the process of this. But I mean, I've enjoyed concepts like this. Saying to you, hey Brian, let's like go home and watch a movie that I saw in the 80s or maybe the 90s, depending on when I actually saw it, because I don't think then again. Came out in 86. would have been 5. There's no way I saw it at 5. So yeah, it was definitely the early 90s. I actually got my eyes on at some point. But yeah, but the fact that I could say like, go watch this movie, and then like, when you have it watched, we'll go on and we'll talk about it. Do you know what I mean? I think that's pretty damn cool. Like, do you know what I mean? And now we're here.
Yeah, that's class.
You're shitting all over my childhood, Brian. You're shitting all over it. You know.
But like
I did,
gummy
bears
to be
either,
fair,
yeah?
I like eating them. But like back to the movie, like I did expect to like it.
Yeah.
Because I rented it on YouTube for $3.50. Imagine that. Yeah, because my copy didn't work. But anyway, I expected to like it because I love all the 80s stuff. I love Critters, Gremlins, all that kind of. These movies are usually my jam. So yeah, and I'm in a good mood all day. So it's not the mood I'm in or anything.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a bit stupid.
Look,
if I was off my tits, I would have loved this.
So you reckon that this is more of a generation of stoner movie? So
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just to kind of like
stoners and children.
Yeah, stoners and children. Oh God, where do I fucking fit in the middle?
Right in the middle, Tubbs.
I'm a lightweight child. Basically how it is. But no, but I mean, like fucking yeah. I mean, like as you can see the poster behind me here, like I'm and it's weird as well because I was even saying, it's like when we were listening, even my daughter was even asking me, like, you know, like, every now and again we'll ask each other like you know, random questions like, oh, what were your 2, 3, or what were your 3 favorite, you know, songs of last year, or things like that, you know. And random question was, I ended up out of 2020, my 3 favorite songs were "Disturb the Sound of Silence," which was one that I had only come across 2 years ago, but I have listened to it ridiculously. I think that was the pandemic.
You could lose subscribers here on the choices.
Yeah, but I think it was genuinely the pandemic mindset though. It was like, oh, stuck in your house and so on. But then there was Miley Cyrus "Midnight Run" and The Weeknd "Blinded by the Lights," and I didn't like them because they're like, oh, they sounded so fucking 80s. I'm going through this mad, crazy 80s thing at the moment, Brian, where I'm digging the 80s stuff, man. Like I'm going back watching like Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, things like that.
But like the 80s is massive in the media at the moment anyway.
Yeah,
you got like
it is. It's
Stranger Things and
I mean, this generation now is pure like retro.
Synth is in.
It is, isn't it though? It's become pure retrofit, where everything's like 80s and 90s now. But for me, just even my music taste has gone very 80s. Now it must be just, I don't know what it is. It's just this weird.
I've always liked 80s music though.
But I've always loved 80s, 90s and stuff like that. But I've loved music from the 50s and 60s, man. Do you know what I mean? Because like obviously I think we all have things like that where we would, you know, like our parents would listen to stuff or they'd be watching things we're growing up. You know, so we would very much kind of take that on board. Like I know my brother John is a very, very old school movie head. Like I had him on a podcast on a show recently, and we talking about like older films and remakes and stuff. You know what I mean? It was a good watch, or it was a good chat. Like, you know,
remakes suck.
I'll wait till you watch it. But
there's only one good remake, and that's the Evil Dead one. Even though they have no Bruce.
Yeah, another idea there, boy. John said, "Wow." But no, but again, regarding the movie, I do like that we came on and talked about this. Like I love that you popped the Mortal Kombat references because it was clear as day. The fact that it came out 6 years before Mortal Kombat, you're kind of going, oh, that looks very similar to what we got then. And not nowadays Mortal Kombat because characters
the original one,
the original one. So you really look at Shang Tsung and you look at Raiden in the original one, and it is.
They were awesome.
And you know, I mean, Jack Burton could be, you know, obviously his hair's a bit longer, but he's a pure Johnny Cage as well. Like, you know, he shows up wearing the glasses and everything at the start. You know the whole lot.
Maybe
he's that same attitude and stuff, minus the actor. And the famous actor and fighter, because he's clearly not a fighter in this movie, by the way. You know, this is like what's the best way to put it? It's the most un-Russell Crowe Russell Crowe's ever been.
Except he's except when he is Kurt Russell.
Oh, did I just say? Russell Crowe, Superman's father.
Was
Robin
it Gladiator you were watching?
Let's rewind back. I got the name wrong twice because I fucking said Russell Crowe twice. Thank you. See, this is why I love having Brian on, right? When my brain goes to the mush, you can correct. Yeah, Kurt Russell. There we go. See, I put the Russell first. That's what happened. I almost fucked it up 3 times.
Oh, Jesus
okay,
Christ.
So Kurt Russell, yeah. Kurt Russell is the least Kurt Russell has ever been. Because he's very... Well, I suppose, yeah, look, he's very action-based, like, movies like
He's
Tango
played
and
a trucker before as well.
He's an action guy, or he was an action guy to a point. But, but in this one, it was like, I think they downplayed the fact that he's like, he was in over his head. He was way out of his depth. And the situation showed that, like, I mean, in a lot of ways where they were just going, like, you're not up for this. Like, he was like, I'm not, but I'm here, Like, I don't want to be here, but like the blonde one's in trouble, so let's go. It's the way it is. Like, but no, and I liked the end of it as well. Like,
he just leaves.
no, but I mean, like, but instead of it being the thing where, like, spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen this movie, I never thought I'd have to say that in a film that came out in 1986. But
well, if we did this podcast yesterday, I wouldn't have seen it. So.
Yes, okay, yeah. So spoiler warning. I'm about to talk about the ending. We have 1, 2, 3. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, I did like that in the end of it. It wasn't your typical. He gets the girl and takes off. Takes off out on the road in his truck or whatever with her. It was this, and even the line where one goes, "Oh my God, are you not going to kiss her goodbye?" And he was like, and he looks at her. No. She was like, I'll see you around, Bert, and then he just leaves, after he talks to one at the door, obviously. But I like that little thing that they did. I was going to go, oh, that's cool. He didn't, like, he genuinely was waiting around for his money to take off and go back on the road and talk to his CV, because that's the character he was. He was Jack Burton that drives and does his job and then shows up and every now and again to play some fucking, like, Chinese games and, see his mate and then go back on the road and tell his stories on the CV. That's kind of his character. The fact that he goes back to doing exactly that at the end, I just thought that's fucking cool. Now, look, as I said, I've never, like, in-depth talked about this before. So, for all I know, the rest of the fucking world or anyone else is watching, I was like, what is Tubbs now? This movie's shit.
But I can see where you're coming from, because to talk about another 80s movie briefly, the old Masters of the Universe movie with Dolph Lundgren is fucking shite. But I absolutely adore it. And I will still watch it to this day. But I know it's critically terrible. But I think that this kind of falls into that kind of...
100% this falls into the same thing. It's that 80s cheesy, over-the-top action. Do you know what I mean? And even, like, to go back to Masters of the Universe, as you were saying there as well, is it is. There's so many bad moments. So there's CGI that has not aged well at all. But then
good journey.
But then, do you know what I mean? I look at this
every time.
and I'm 39, man, and I look at that movie now and to this day, and my brother is worse than me. Like, he adores that movie. I remember 2 Christmases ago I bought it from him on Blu-ray, like, because he just loves
I watched it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Sorry, but it's it goes back to the classics. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta go back to enjoy, because sometimes the newer movies, look, not all of them, because there's a lot of brilliant movies out there, man. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes it is just nice to go back, backwards in time and just go like, yeah, just turn that on. Big Trouble in Little China. Let's fucking talk about it, Brian. And then shit all over my childhood. You.
One person's trash is another's treasure. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been someone else's trash before it became my treasure. So. But it is, man. But if you look back at it, like, it's like, I mean, I'm definitely a product of 80s in that sense of, like, my mind now as well, because, like, Never Ending Story, things like that, I love.
Love that too.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can look back at that and go, oh my God, some bits of that are terrible.
Never Ending Story is amazing.
It is. It's like that scene with the
horse.
horse.
I would never say that's bad.
No, I
Yeah,
don't
don't
mean
go
bad.
there.
It's like I'm saying about this is I can openly admit that like
Mm.
this is like ridiculous and over the top and cheesy as fucking all hell. But my God, there's just something about it, man. I just love it. I have
Well,
done
that's
since I
fair
was a
enough.
kid. But as I said, I think for me it's pure nostalgia factor. For you, it was just, oh, that's an old movie I just watched.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But it is like that. It's probably films that you grew up with and certain things you might have seen in the 80s and 90s as well that probably like like kind of stay in the
Blend
pocket as well.
better.
Do you know what I mean? You look at it and like other people say, "What the fuck? That's shit." No, it's epic. You know, like
Yeah,
I'm like that with the Mighty Ducks fucking movies.
I love those as well.
Fucking love them to this day, man. They're on Disney Plus and all. I've watched all three. You know, are they good? Probably not, but I don't fucking care.
Quack,
You know?
quack, 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 quack,
But I'm the
quack.
guy, as you know, as I said it a while ago. I'm fucking in my 30s, man, and I still have my Anaheim Mighty Ducks jersey.
I had a cap for
You
years
know, I
when I
still have it
was
upstairs, and every now and again, I just throw it on. Not because
just
I'm
for the
cool.
lols.
Yeah, not because I'm cool. It's just every now and again I'm like, oh, nostalgia's on top of me, you know. But yeah. So did you like final verdict? Did you hate it, or was it just like it just wasn't for you?
I don't think like I just thought it was stupid. Like it was not. I'm not going to watch it again. Basically, like, but it was. I'm glad I watched it. Put
Yeah,
it that way. I can't say it's bad because it is bad, but I can't say it's terrible. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. It's
I
so
enjoyed
bad.
it, but it was shit. So
Yeah, but I
bad
mean,
it's
like,
not. No, it's not so bad it's good.
no, but you know something. I know exactly what you're saying, right? I do. I know exactly what you're saying on that, right? I have a counterpoint to add to that as well. That is the exact same way I feel about the Resident Evil movies. I
I
know,
can't stand them.
but I'm the same. I know they're ridiculous. They're stupid. They make no sense. There's practically zero connection to the video games that they came from. But I don't know what it is. I I, I just I enjoyed them. I just enjoyed them,
And you know
and I
what?
don't know why. But I just did. But I know I'm not stupid. Like my brain doesn't go like, oh man, these are masterpieces. I'm, you know, as much as I'm a fucking messer and a lunatic, I'm intelligent enough to know when something isn't really good, and those movies aren't. You know, but
And
for some
you know
strange
what?
reason, it's crazy how the brain works, man. It's crazy how it's crazy how you take in your content, even though you're aware it's not good. You're still watching.
Dude, as much as I hate those movies, I've seen them loads of fucking times. I don't know why either.
Exactly.
Like,
But that's my point. Is like, do you know what I mean? Like even like a film like do you know what I mean that I look at as like a pure classic from the 80s that has
mm,
like has no like doesn't have the same connection to you because you obviously just recently watched it. Um, but I do get that because I know there are movies out there that I know are terrible. Like I've like but I sit down. But there's so many movies that I've grown up with that I know are just shocking bad. Like you remember the Mortal Kombat movie?
yeah,
Yeah.
the
I
second one.
no, but the first one when that came out, I fucking loved it. I just did. It was the soundtrack. It
Before
was
you go any further, though,
yes.
I know the CGI hasn't aged well, but it is still a solid movie in my opinion.
No. This is my point I'm getting to. It is a very solid film, but at the same time, it is a very, very much a product of its time.
Oh
To a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
other people, they'd look at that and go, "That's fucking stupid. I don't like that." But then you're going to go like, "Nah, it's fucking awesome."
But they
I
could be
do
the same
agree,
people that wouldn't like it at the first place. So,
but you can say the same thing about Annihilation.
so shit.
Holy Christ, that movie was bad. But if
Yeah,
you remember when Mortal Kombat came out, Street Fighter came out.
I like that as well.
But see,
And it's
but that's my
terrible.
point. Now look at it now from there, right? I have seen Street Fighter about maybe 6 or 7 times, the one with John Clav and them.
Somebody or more probably.
I absolutely, in every fiber of my being, hate that fucking movie so bad. But yet, I have seen it 6 or 7 times. You know what I
I'm
mean?
an og like.
And yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, you know what I mean? But when you, it's like, imagine if I had only like watched it, like if I had picked up like,
Yeah,
you
if
know,
I'd have said to you, watch Street Fighter now, having never seen it,
yeah,
like, why
exactly.
did you
You know,
fucking do
so
that to me?
so I do totally get your point on like why this probably didn't resonate with you now, because you obviously,
But see, the difference with Street Fighter is Street Fighter took itself really, really seriously.
yeah, this didn't. Like
Yeah,
this movie doesn't take
like that
itself
was
seriously.
that was there was places I was pissing myself laughing at the
At this movie.
stupidity of it. Like,
Yeah, it was, and some of the times it was the one-liners from Kurt Russell.
for me though, it was more the situations, like the whole, like I said a while ago, driving the truck down the freaking narrow alley, and asking your one at the window, "Hey, do you know what's going on here?" And your one's like, "No, bye."
Yeah, she just
Close the door. So stupid. But yeah,
but,
and the guy just randomly exploding at the end as well because he got so
but
fucking big.
I let you do something, so right, for the next night we do something like this, right? I'm gonna get you
Give
to
me
give
a
me.
list of movies you haven't seen.
No, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get you to give me homework. You pick a movie that I haven't, or name a few films that I'll tell you what I haven't seen, and then you get to movie. I'll go back and watch it. And then on the next episode, or whenever we get back to doing another episode like this, then I'll come back with my homework to you, Brian. You know, we'll flip it back and forth, because I've
Retro
actually quite
movie
enjoyed
chat.
this.
Yeah.
It's actually been a good bit of fun there now, just chatting about fucking old stuff I love, really. You know.
How bad? How bad?
Oh, also, my brother said to me that I need to stop looking this way, like off to the side, because he said it looks like you're looking away from Brian constantly. I was like, no, man, I'm actually trying to like read stuff here. Like if I put notes down or names I've forgotten.
No, I don't think he knows that.
But yeah, so anyone that's watching this or like
At least you're not on your
notices that
phone,
I keep
like.
going like that, it's because I have notes. Yeah. I should really use my phone, but I haven't. I wrote notes, like old timey 80s notes, you know, like the 80s movies, the old that's there, 80s notes. You know?
I was just saying, like, hello, Rich NG.
It's a story, Rich. But yeah, man. So, man, as I said to you before, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. I quite enjoy our
Pleasure coming
chats.
on, dude. Anytime.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I'll
That's
have
the
you on
way.
all the time to do these things. So I think it's just, I've said it even on Wrestle Chat. I've said it back in the day. There's good banter between me and you. We know each other pretty
Definitely.
damn well, so it's a good it's always a good time, you know. And if I fuck up, he'll correct me. You know?
I pull you back up.
Exactly. So, you know, it's why I have him here. It's like until I learn how to, you know, fly on my own, you know.
Need to row that boat, Tubbs. Row that boat.
Yeah, man. It's row the boat or keep digging down. I don't know which is worse, you know.
But when you
But
start seeing black, swim up.
very much so. But Brian, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show to talk about a film that I really fucking love, a film that you kind of have watched, but that's okay, because isn't that the whole point? We're supposed to have
Exactly.
opinions, we're supposed to like stuff, and then banter back and forth about what we didn't like about things. And that's what I love about entertainment in general. You know, just pop culture, the whole shebang, the whole fucking jizz and jazz. You know, it's you know, you're supposed to have indifference and
More jazz, less jizz.
that's a good way to go out, my friend. That is a good way to go out. But yeah, so guys, it has been another great show. And I thank Brian O'Regan for coming back on the show again to talk about like, you know, stuff I gave him homework on. I'm going to do homework the next time. I'm going to come back and give him my messaging and my reviews and just my overall opinions on the things he asked me to watch. But so yeah, we'll be back again soon. I had a great show. I really enjoyed it. So did Brian, because I'm speaking for him. Because I know he did. Look at his face. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, this has been the TwistedTubz Podcast. I am Stephen Tuberty, aka TwistedTubz. He is Brian O'Regan, aka Brian's Action Figure Reviews. Thank you for watching the
Bye.
show. We will see you again in the very, very soon. Thank you very much.